my students mentioned in class one day. The fact is that we don't think we use math in our daily lives. When in previous years, previous generations, they were using math to make their own clothes, they were using math to make furniture, they were building their own homes, and we don't do that now. So where do we think we use it? Well, we only think about that we're using math if we're looking at balancing our checkbook. Isn't that what the kids say? And yours don't even do that. I don't even think mine do that.
Getting change from it.
Getting change, yeah. You know, that's where they think they see math. But they don't realize the pattern. They don't realize, like, for example, just talking about order of operations. How do you get yourself ready in the morning? Don't you have a particular way of doing that? Do you get dressed and then get in the shower? No, you don't do that. There's an order that we do things in that we just take for granted. You know, we're looking at, do we think about when we're driving, do we look at our odometer to try and figure out how many more miles I can go before I'm going to run out of gas? You know, all sorts of things that are occurring, but we just don't give credit to math for it. You know, our logical thinking skills. You know, and that's basically, you know, when you say, well, what will these kids remember? Well, hopefully our calculus students are going to go on to engineering and some other higher level math, but many of our students opt out of calculus. And so where are they going to use that math? Are they going to remember the quadratic formula or a squared plus b squared equals c squared? No. So what do we hope that they learned from our classes? What do you hope that in 10 years your students will still have the skill of being able to do?
Problem solving.
Yeah.
Problem solving.
Organize their thinking.
Logical thinking. How about paying attention to detail?
Yes.
You know, that's such a big one that we don't think about much, but it's, you know, it's so important when you miss the detail. You know, I had a student tell me he was supposed to go for his, he was going to take an SAT test, and he went to his school because he thought that's where it was. Well, by the time he realized it wasn't at his school, and he got to the new school, it was too late for him to take the test. A small detail, but you know, makes it very different. I think our new group's coming in. So. I don't know. Any other thoughts on that or on that video?
When I interviewed for my first or second teaching position at age 22, and the mean superintendent was grilling me, he asked me that question, what are you studying math for? And I never thought about it. But I'll never forget his answer because he just said it gives you options. You have options now. The more math you take, the more options you have later on. You decide you want to do something different, you've got more options. I try to tell that to the kids because you know, a lot of my kids are like, well, I'm just going to do this. I'm like, well, what if you get injured in that job and you want to change, you know? I just don't even know. Their children don't even know where it is. So,
But I think they're seeing it more now because of the economy and how people have had to change jobs a couple of times. I'm like, do you realize that too? Yeah, I'm not saying, I'm hoping it's not the case for you, but I think it's becoming more of a possibility where they know. They've got to be able, keep going.
Some people just want to change jobs.
Yes.
Get tired of something.
Yeah, I want
Like,
to
that's more
do something interesting.
Do something new.
And it's more acceptable these days, whereas you know, before you were more into a job for your entire
Like
life.
the work my husband does, people in his field typically change jobs every 5 years or less. You know, they just jump from job to job because they're doing a similar type of work, but they just want to work with different companies, different groups of people. They just get tired of
Yeah, different
the same
applications.
place, the same business.
Mary?
I get, this is just, it's not off topic, but sometimes I get a little sad in that really great teachers always seem to leave the classroom. And I wonder, like, if you had stayed another 10 years, wouldn't you, I think you might have more to share with us. And it just, it's, yeah, that's
that he
all.
left it, that they leave the classroom.
Oh, teacher like that,
Yeah.
Nigel?
Yeah, well, just Nigel, and then just those people who become teacher of the year, and all of a sudden they're gone. They're out of the classroom, and I just, we need more people who are willing to stay in the classroom. and year after year keep doing this, because our kids change.
Right, they do.
A lot of thought is being given to the idea of what leadership in the classroom looks like, a classroom teaching leadership, and steps that can be taken that enable classroom teachers to share their knowledge, their
And
expertise,
stay in the
and
classroom.
yeah, and be rewarded for staying in the classroom. Exactly,
Right.
exactly. It's
I
an
read
issue.
I read
Yeah.
a fascinating book that a man, I'm trying to remember his name, was making suggestions of how to give teachers opportunities to basically have career advancement without
Yes,
leaving
exactly.
the classroom to become, say, an administrator,
Uh-huh.
mentoring roles, professional development roles, and it was a beautiful,
How do we?
beautiful reading.
Yes.
If I can find the name of the book,
Oh,
I'll
do.
pass it around.
Please
I mean,
do.
he was talking about all sorts of things
Sure.
about education reform and current
Mhm.
issues in education, but I found his ideas about, improving the teaching profession
Uh-huh.
really profound and,
Wonderful.
and a good read.
Love to see that. Thank you.
A number of states have come up with incentives, financial incentives for the best teachers to be mentors and coaches, and
Yeah.
there's quite a bit of extra pay in there.
I mean, he was even suggesting basically assembling a corps of retired teachers to be the, mentors to current teachers.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, it's very
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't fathom if you started today, all of the things.
Oh my
It was
goodness.
much less complicated. I've only
Yes.
taught for 12 years. It was much less complicated 12 years ago than it is today. I don't even know where you started.
Well, if you can imagine, I was at a school and they were putting in cooperative learning and overhead projectors. So you can imagine how long ago this was. And I had teachers in that school saying to me, Mary, I don't think I can do this.
Yes.
Because they were so used to it being, straight from the book.
Yes.
We'd do a little bit, we'd give them some work to do, and then,
That's what we were trained in.
That
Manlin Hunter, wasn't it Manlin
Yeah.
Hunter?
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yes, that's how we were trained.
Yes.
But that's it, the way the world is changing and the way everything is changing, it's going very rapidly. So you have to be willing to adapt or else you're hiding in your own little classroom by yourself, which is what we're trying to get away from.
What was that?
I'm joking. You know me.
Joe's napping in his classroom the other day. Okay, Ellen, did
Some
you wanna
people,
wrap up?
I'm just going to
Because the
say,
others are here.
some people do enjoy being in their classroom, and how to get classroom expertise acknowledged and rewarded is a huge thing. Thank you, Mary. I enjoyed this a lot.